Inés Arroyo presenta Ruido, Dazz, un podcast producido por Lagam en el que escucharemos hablar a mujeres top, independientes e inspiradoras.
So thank you so much, Fanny, for being here with us and here in Ruido Dazz in our podcast of Lagam. It's such a pleasure for me and personal to meet you because I'm really big fan of Vestiaire Collective, of you as a woman entrepreneur, and also all the company you have built. So for me, it's such a pleasure to have you here. And it's also my first time doing a podcast in English, so I'm a little bit nervous, but I think probably it will go okay. So thank you.
And I'm very happy to be with you too. And I have Spanish roots. I'm not fluent, but my grandfather is from Barcelona.
Ah, yes.
My grandmother was Spanish too, and so I understand a little bit. So no problem.
Thank you. So for all of our listeners, I will first introduce Fanny, and then we will start our conversation, and we will talk a lot of things. So I just want to introduce Fanny. Fanny Moizant is the co-founder and vice president of Vestiaire Collective.
Hello, I'm Fanny Moizant, co-founder of Vestiaire Collective. Welcome in our Asia Pacific office in Hong Kong. Vestiaire Collective is an online fashion community where members can buy and sell their pre-loved fashion items. Founded in 2009 in Paris, we are now available in more than 50 countries, with offices across Europe, US and Hong Kong. At Vestiaire Collective, the 8 million members can shop across 4,000 brands at affordable prices, from the latest eat bag to timeless pieces and fresh streetwear.
Fanny was already passionate for fashion. She began her career as a trade marketing in decoration company after working for Galliano, and then she also studied an MBA at the French Fashion Institute. And now she's based in Hong Kong. So we will start all your story, Fanny. Where does it come your passion for the industry, and what was the first steps of Vestiaire Collective and you?
For sure. So I think it started in long time ago when I was a teenager. I grew up in south of France, as I told you, with Spanish roots. My grandparents emigrated from Spain to France, to south of France. So I grew up near Montpellier, in a small town. And when I was a teenager, my mom started to she launched different business in her life. But at that time, she had shops, and several types of shops, and few of them were about fashion. Nothing crazy, nothing high fashion, but still I was a young adult, let's say, and because I was studying in the same city in Montpellier, I always hang out in the shops, and of course I was always giving a hand on the weekend, holidays, and so on. So I didn't realize at the time, but I think that's my roots, where I come from. I love to be there. I love to learn and to learn the business side, and I loved also the products, being surrounded by beautiful things and understanding the materials, the cuts and everything, and the eye, and creating a window and so on. So actually that's came back to me late. So I did, as you said, a business school first. I started working in some fashion companies, Galliano, but also underwear company Deem, and then I went to more home decoration. Then I had my two daughters, got pregnant, and I had two daughters back to back, and I did in between the two kids, because I knew I didn't want it to go back. I wanted two kids very close together. So in between, I did this fashion school in Paris. And that's where basically it all came back to me. I was 30 years old, having babies and really shifting, my priorities in life. And then suddenly I understood that fashion was really my thing. I wanted to go back to that after this period in home decoration. But I couldn't find any company or something that I felt passionate about. So at some point I reconnected with the family roots, which is entrepreneurship, because from my grandparents, my parents, my brother, everybody is an entrepreneur. So I said, okay, I'm not finding the perfect job out there in the industry, so I have to create my own job. And that's where Vestiaire came. I had that idea about creating that business about when I read a magazine, the French Elle. And then I was lucky because I met my other fellow co-founders. So we started the business at 6 co-founders. And then it all came very naturally and organically. So that was the story before Vestiaire.
It's such a curious thing because when you was talking about that your passion came when with your mom you were like in the shops and all the things that you learned there. My story is also a little bit the same, not with my mom. The mother of my boyfriend, he also had shops, different shops here in Barcelona, and there is where I started to feel more the passion for fashion, the textures, the fabrics, the windows, how to create this sense. So I really felt reflected with the things you were talking, because for me it was the same. It's in there where I started to know that I really wanted to dedicate in the fashion industry, and in the shops is where you really know, and like everything, all exactly. And it's a really good school for fashion.
Exactly. It's amazing, and I agree, because I now when I step back, I understand that I was at the crossrail of the creative part, which is the product and the how to show the product in the store, but also the business side of things. Because it's a shop, you have to run it, you have to understand your clients and so on. So I think it's an amazing school to get your heads around the industry and truly, get a 360 experience. I agree.
Yes. And all when you were talking about this, because you started Vestiaire Collective 2009, it's a decade now, from 2 years now. So what do you think that has really changed in the last decade? So e-commerce, social media, sustainability, and reuse. What do you think in these 10 years? Because if we go back when you started Vestiaire Collective, there were second-hand resale shops, but not all that type of online thing, or digital native brands were not so as now. So tell us how do you think it has changed?
Everything. No, I mean, even 10 years ago, we started the business because a lot of things have changed already. Fashion, the whole industry has changed. Because first, fast fashion entered that massively the industry, 25 years ago, and changed completely the consumer mindset. So consumer-wise, I mean, if I compare again myself to my mom, we were not in one generation. The consumption has completely changed. My mom used to invest in one piece and would keep it for almost a lifetime and really take care and so on. My generation was more about usage. So you buy a coat, you enjoy it a season, maybe 2, and then you want something else and something else. So we were drugged by novelties, always new. Of course, social media was a big thing, because once you get seen in an outfit, you want another one and so on. So that was also a massive impact. And we understood from an early day that the 6 co-founders, we had the same situation. So we had amazing products in our wardrobes, but we were wearing basically very small portion of that wardrobe. And the exact figure is 40% a woman, whereas 40% of what she owns. And we found that very sad. And I think all of us were educated in a very conscious mindset. At home, we used to pay attention to electricity, already recycle, your waste, and everything was quite ingrained in our DNA. So we applied basically the same to our wardrobe, saying we cannot continue wasting like this, wasting our money in a way, our space, but also the environment, and leave those products out there in our wardrobes without using them. So to your point, we didn't invent the second-hand market. What we brought is trust, because back in the days and in France, in Paris, if you wanted to buy something online, you had eBay, which was great, but for fashion and luxury fashion, very tricky. You could get fooled easily. So we wanted really to create an environment where people would be safe to sell and to buy. And for that particular reason, we created the different steps in Vestiaire, which is the quality control and authentication. So every single product will go through the hands of an expert that will make sure it's same quality as the one set by the seller, but also an authentic product. And the second thing we wanted to really change in that second-hand market was bringing back the cool. Meaning, again, in Paris, you could go to a second-hand store. Some were great, but most of them were a bit dusty. Like, you didn't feel really inspired, it didn't really look great. So we wanted to inspire people and to show them that you can be on trend and you can look amazing while buying secondhand, because those products are almost unused and like super quality, super nice, and something from 4 seasons or 2 seasons ago could be amazing, and you could be the only one to wear it now. So we wanted to re-inject that inspiration element in that secondhand industry. So that's why we built the concept. And since then, we've been for 10 years we've been promoting those pillars, again, the trust, the fashion element, but also the community element. We were talking about social media at the time. We were almost social media native, the founders. So we found it was important to, above and beyond the e-commerce, the buying and the selling, to give a voice to the buyers and to the sellers, for them to connect and to share about their passion, and to be able to talk, exchange, and so on. So that was the third pillar. And the fourth one is definitely the sustainability, educating people to invest in qualitative products that they will be able to resell when they no longer want or enjoy the product.
And also, for me, like a really good point on Vestiaire Collective is the part of building a community that in that time, now digitally, like we are focused on building a community, but on that point, you were the first ones creating this part of building a community to inspire, to create more than just a site for exchange or to buy, or like the part of inspiration you create. As I'm client of Vestiaire Collective, I also have sold things in Vestiaire Collective, and is really the trust of the site, the part of being connected with other people that has also the same passion as you, because I have experience of buying things and have connected with girls that really had the same passion and that really enjoy about fashion. My last experience was that I felt in these COVID moments. It was in Vestiaire Collective. I bought the Amina Muadi sandals. I was really on these sandals, but to be honest, I really couldn't afford the first hand price, and I was like, I really want these sandals. I really want to invest in them, and my first thing was looking on Vestiaire Collective, and with the girl that just told that it was new, the sandals are new, but like half price as they sell it in the market. She was so super nice with me. We had like really good connection. We started to talk about fashion. She was from Canada, so it was like a really really random conversation, but really inspired, and also that makes you like have a emotional link or with the platform as well. So I think this is the really appreciate thing about Vestiaire.
Yeah. No, it's very special. As you said, it makes the whole experience emotional because at the end of the day, it's above the product, it's a person. And I had the same, experience a few times recently. Also, a pair of shoes that I brought from a Spanish girl who came to Hong Kong, and just imagining that girl, that super stylish girl, had those pair of shoes in Spain, and now there are those shoes are walking in Hong Kong, and I find the whole thing amazing. And then you can really become friends and find people that have the same passion, same interest, same taste, same size, same everything. So it's really an emotional and a very strong social component.
Yes, and also the part of giving the opportunity to be able to buy things from big fashion houses that you probably can afford at the first time. For me, it's not a competition for big houses of fashion. For me, it's like the first connection that Vestiaire Collective does with the client, and then the client is like, okay, I have my first experience with luxury. I really want to invest in luxury. So I think you are just like creating like a link between big fashion houses with you and clients, no?
You're completely right. And actually, last year we released a survey with the Boston Consulting Group, which was saying exactly that. Vestiaire is an enabler for people that cannot afford one product full price from the brand. It's a great first step to experience the brand, to like it, to be able to afford it. And those clients, we serve in a way as a recruiting mechanism for brands, because we give the clients the opportunity, exactly as you say, to experience the brand, and then a bit later, when they have more purchasing power, or when they save or whatever, they can really go firsthand and buy the product new, and then they become, the interesting part is they become seller on Vestiaire. So it's kind of driving that circularity element, which makes a lot of sense.
What is the point where you say, okay, we can scale this business to be worldwide, and how the digital part has been key in Vestiaire Collective?
It's a good question. Actually, very, very early. So we launched, as you said, Vestiaire in 2009. In 2010, 11, we started to see, so we were French company based in Paris, French name. Back in the days, we were called Vestiaire de Copines. The site was only in French. And very quickly, in less than 2 years, we started seeing orders from people in the UK, from people in Germany, a little bit all over Europe. And that was really the time where we said, okay, fashion has no boundaries. People can be inspired from wherever in the world, and we really need to very quickly expand to those territories, because we see that they are ready for the concept, which was really new. This kind of new way of buying and selling online. And they are asking for it because they are already on the platform, despite the French, despite everything. So that was, again, super early. In 2012, we created a first team in London. I physically went there. I relocated from Paris to London in 2013 to drive from there the expansion. And from that time, we never stopped. So basically, from London, I helped create teams and open the business in Germany, in Italy, in Spain, all over Europe, in the Nordics. Because it's just the way businesses now work. It's very rare to find just local businesses. especially when you're online, there's no more boundaries, and we do think that fashion, yes, it has some particularities, but most of the luxury and designer fashion is now global. So it really makes sense to offer that service to a wider audience. And it's also very key in scaling the business because we are a supply business. So the more product you have on the platform, the more seller, the more buyers you will attract slowly and slowly. So it's all about getting that inventory in terms of quality for sure, but in terms also of quantity. And it's very difficult to build a huge catalog if you stay in one country, maybe in a huge country like the US or somewhere else, but in smaller countries, it's super, super difficult. So it makes sense to have a global reach. And that's what we've been doing from Paris to Europe. Then we opened the business in the US in 2015-16, and more recently Asia. So I again relocated from London to Hong Kong 3 years ago now. And same thing. Why Asia? Because we, exactly like back in the days, we've seen organic demand coming from Hong Kong, Singapore, Australia. And that's for us the sign that the community in those countries are ready to embrace secondhand and to start consuming differently. So that's how we went from Paris to 6 countries in the world. Yeah.
And for you, that now that you were talking about that you really relocated to Hong Kong, is for you the future of fashion there? How is the different clients there to like the Europe clients?
It's very true what you say. I remember having some discussion with some Spanish people saying, when you have a bag that you bought on Vestiaire, you would never tell. You would tell that it's coming from a store firsthand. And I think in Asia, and Asia is not one country, it's a lot of countries and they're all different, but I think they are also a little bit like Spain, so they are not mature yet completely to the secondhand thinking. Here, for example, it's a bit different, but the older generation were thinking that in secondhand products you can still find the spirit of the previous owner. And that's why historically it's never been a big thing here. But it has completely changed. So the new generation are super open to secondhand. We are happy to see that they are first very open to sell because they are huge fashion customers. They love shopping. They love luxury products. They love designer. They dress up a lot compared to, for example, the French people. They go out, they have a big social life, so that they shop a lot. And they're very happy to let go, resell, make money, and to reinvest later. So we've seen literally between the generation, and since we arrived 3 years ago, the mentality is completely evolved. And now they are super proud to say that they buy and they sell secondhand. And for example, in Hong Kong, a small anecdote was when I arrived, we started to work with influencers, and it was the first time in 10 years that I heard some influencers saying, "No, I don't want to work with secondhand business. I'm not comfortable." And now, 2.5 years later, I mean, we have an amazing pool of influencers, and people are calling us, "Can I work with you?" and so on. Because they really find it super cool and super inspiring to carry that message of sustainability and different mindsets. So I think we did a great job switching the mentalities. And so yes, in that respect, Asia is a very interesting market because, as I said, a lot of customers that love fashion. And also they are very inspired by Japan. Japan is the biggest resale market in the world. They have a luxury cultures for decades, and they have also an amazing way of taking care of their belongings. So anything you would buy from Japan is pristine condition, like very, very nice. And Japan is a big influencer here. I mean, the culture is very influent in Asia. So I think slowly Asia is shifting towards a big market for us in terms of resale.
So that's really curious and really makes me think that here in Spain, the influencers that work here. I don't like to call me influencer because I'm with Lagam and I just create my business, but as well I work with other brands. I have been working with Vestiaire, but my first purchase of Vestiaire Collective was now Isabel Marant jumper, and then I started to work there and to sell things, and also I have been working with Vestiaire. For me, was Vestiaire Collective give me the coolness part for as me as an influencer to share with my community. No, for me. Sharing with my community that I bought and sell things in Vestiaire Collective, I think it also gives me the part of I'm a really fashion influencer. I really invest on fashion when I can, and when I cannot, I sell my things to then invest. So it gives you like the powerful of showing to your community that you are really a fashion influencer, that you really believe in fashion luxury and you really matter about the industry. No? And for me, it's a difference for the influencers who work with brands or companies as Vestiaire, that it really gives you like the honor that you are really a fashion influencer that really matters about the industry and really invest in fashion luxury. No, that is not they all like gift you with things of fashion that you never will buy. For me, I really buy luxury. I really invest in luxury when I can, and when I cannot, I sell my things and I invest them in Vestiaire Collective. No, and for me, it's like a 360 experience. And I have, for example, with Amina Muadi sandals, I bought them, but because I just sell a Chloe bag. So with that money, I could buy my Amina Muadi sandals. And also my first, I was like 1 year ago, I just bought my the saddle bag of Dior in Vestiaire Collective. They're really, really vintage because it's in a khaki color and it's really like denim fabric. And it's super, 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 for me, like a jewel for me. And as well, like my first Prada nylon bag.
Oh, wow.
In Vestiaire. So for me, it's like trusting in the industry and really buying secondhand. For me, gives you the trust that you really live in the fashion luxury industry.
Yes. Congratulations. I mean, I think it's an amazing way to exactly to your point, to celebrate our industry, because even if we have sustainability issues and so on, we truly believe that the designers and the houses are doing an amazing job and are keep on inspiring us, and we want every season to support them and to enjoy their craftsmanship and so on. So it's all about how you are smart with your behavior, and I do the same as you do. I do the one in, one out policy. So every time I want something, I will force myself to sell something first. So you are on a rotating almost on the same budget, and you are enjoying amazing new collections or vintage collection, whatever you want, while keeping a very edited wardrobe. So that's I think that's an amazing way to again to celebrate fashion.
Yes, of course, and also the part of sustainability that I really think that in this last decade, our like generation is more conscious about this part, and we really want to invest like in different little things, and then reuse and then buy. And I think that companies as Vestiaire Collective and other brands that we are building this conscious part for our customers. We really are pulling this part of the customer to think and say, okay, I don't really need all these kind of things, but if I really want like the blazer or the bag or something like this, I can buy in these different like in Vestiaire Collective and invest in this, no? So I think that the sustainability part is also a trend and is something that we are talking about, and more with the COVID part that is really make us like think a lot of this. But what I think and what I really trust is that with this building community, the community that you are building and how you are inspiring. And for example, me with Lagam, we are doing a lot of things to inspire and to create to be conscious, no, to our customers is also the key part, no. So I really big fan of the community you are building and how you are connecting with your clients, no. That is key for success, no, to listen your clients and to listen what they really want.
Yes, completely. And we are trying to teach the community and I mean that throwaway fashion is not an option anymore, because when you buy I don't know, a 3, 4, or 5 euros t-shirt or sweater or whatever that is poorly made and that will fall apart after you wear it 3, 4 times. I think this is what we hate in the industry. So on the other side, you have a bit more expensive products, but that are very inspiring in terms of style, design, and really from a higher quality. And those ones, if you invest a bit more, you can then resell and then enjoy more. So that's the whole shift of consciousness. And I think the community we have right now on Vestiaire, which is almost 10 million people, are really, to your point, conscious. We even call them the fashion activists, because I think the 10 million of us are slowly saving the planet in a way by having a more conscious consumption, and we are in a way slowing down also and leaving behind that bad throwaway fashion.
Yes, of course. I really think it, and I'm a member of this community, and I feel like this. So, and just like I really, as I told you the first time, I really admire you as a entrepreneur woman, and I also think that in this industry that is not leading as much as woman as I would like to have like reference, no, is when they told me what is your reference in fashion industry as a leading woman, is like there are not so much, and it's really a masculine world, and this shocks me. So how is to be for you leading as a woman in a masculine world and in an industry that, for example, I have like been I have meetings with men that they are like the leaders of the companies, and I'm like just like the one woman in the meeting. So it's like, how can it be like this? So for you that you are a little bit older than me, how has been leading?
So I think I would say 2 things. The first thing is a state of mind. I've been growing up with one brother, so we're two kids in the family, and I've never experienced any kind of difference between my brother or I. I was playing football with him outside after school. He was cleaning the dishes exactly as me. So I think I was raised exactly like him. And I don't, in my personal and professional life, I don't ask myself the question. I act like an entrepreneur, no matter what. I'm a woman. I work with guys, and I don't see the difference. I don't come in a room saying I'm the only woman. I don't care. I'm here and I do my job. And I don't ask myself the question, because I feel like as soon as you start asking yourself the question, you're putting yourself in a position that is a bit lower in a way than male. So this is something that I never think about, but at the same time, it's maybe easy for me to say that, because in Vestiaire, for example, we have 60% of women amongst the whole company. In the leadership team, it's 50-50, 50 women, 50 men. So it's very, very, very equal. We were 6, as I was telling you, in founding the business. Now some of the founding team has left, and I'm super happy to say that Sophie and myself were the only 2 female of the groups are the ones still here. So I really do believe that women, we have talents. I'm not saying men don't have, but women have talents in building companies and building teams and growing teams, because I think it has somewhere to be to come from our motherhood or this kind of thing we have deep inside. So I think I just act with who I am and what I have in my belly, and if I ever see injustice or whatever, I would call it out and always support women. I know a lot of women that are entrepreneurs around me, and I think it's amazing. I think the society has massively shifted, and you're right, maybe there's not enough yet, but I think in fashion there's more and more women leading their own businesses, and I think we have to celebrate that and admire that. And yes, maybe life is a bit more tough on us because we have to give birth and be there with the kids, and we have so much on our plate. But that's also what I think makes us stronger and gives us more energy. I mean, I launched Vestiaire after my baby, so I think before I wasn't able to do it, but having the kids and gave me such a huge energy that I celebrate the fact that I'm a woman every single day. Really.
No, it's super cool how you said it, because my second question was about how was being mom at the same time. You just answered me that was like the thing that give you like the strong part to say, okay, I really want to do this, and I really can, no? That is also a thing that a lot of women think that they cannot do at the same time, or just do it because they have babies. But for me, this is a really strong message to our listeners that they really can, and how your experience is an example of how did you give birth, and then you were like, okay, I really want to create my own business because I didn't find my way and my way in the industry, so I really want to be an entrepreneur, no? And now we're talking about these things, and it's like my last question is about Vestiaire Collective is a company that has investors that have raised funds a lot of money. So how is the relation with investors for you?
I think, yes, we raised a lot of money. I think it's around a bit more than 200 million euros. That's huge. But I think we were also lucky to have amazing investors behind us, investors that understand our mission and purpose, that are always here to support. And they are in a constructive mindset. I'm not the one being directly dealing with them on a monthly basis, but I'm in the board meetings, and I know most of them because we meet often. But I think it's great to be supported, and I have one, back to the female thing. I have one of my favorite story with my investors is Claire Houry, who's working for Ventec. It's a French VC. She was the first actually VC who invested in Vestiaire like 10 years ago. The first to believe in the concept, so a female. I find it very interesting. And I don't know, a few years after investing, she told me, we were talking in between doors, and she told me that she really believed in me in front of a small group, and that she could see that even if I didn't have any entrepreneur experience in my previous life, she could see from an early age that I would grow with the company. And that small message, that small sentence, stick with me and gave me a lot of strength to carry on, because it's not easy. As you know, you're an entrepreneur too. It's sometimes a very high and sometimes very low. But having heard that message very early in the experience of Vestiaire Collective gave me the strength to carry on and to continue despite the difficult moments. And I thank her every day, because that message kept resonating in me. And especially coming from a female investor who was the first one, I think it's the best gift you can give as an investor beyond money. It gives strength and power to the teams you invest in.
Yes, for sure. And now that you were telling this story, for me is the same. I really had an investor at the first time that he was not in fashion. He didn't know anything about fashion, but he was like, I really like your story. I really like the story you have behind. I really like how you tell the story. I really believe in you. And he has been with us for the first time when I launched with 23 years. I founded Lagam, and he was like, you are young, but you are strong, and I really believe in you and your story. And he didn't know anything about fashion. For me, it was really a good point. He was like, I trust in your business, I trust in you, but I really trust how you tell the story. That for him was really, really, really matter. So I think that having that investors that they are not only investors, they are like mentors that give you that type of messages that really that they are with you only in that time that you say that there are times that are really like low, and you are like, I cannot go further. I'm like, I'm enough. But then you think about this message and you start to grow again, no? Because leading a company has these parts, the good parts, but also the top part and more like a difficult part, no? So having this type of persons behind you and that believe in you since the first time is such an energy, no?
Yes, yeah, completely. We have it's nice to see that we have almost the same story from the beginning to the creation of our own companies.
Well, Lagam really, really small, but we really want to create this. We have 10 years in front, so I hope in 10 years I can call you and I can see you, Fanny. I have my next office is in Hong Kong.
No, you come to my office, we work together. We share the office.
For sure. So now, just to end, I always make the same question to all of our women that come to Ruido Dazz. That is, which woman inspires you? Personal, not professional, but someone says, okay.
I would say the obvious, but I think it's my mom. Again, I think she gave me the first key to my passion. And I think being passionate in life is what matters, because you wake up in the morning and you have such a drive, such an energy that basically makes you see life differently. So, and she keeps on giving me now, I mean, so much energy through so many different things, and she keeps on opening my eyes on new topics and so on. So I think it's, I'm really lucky to have that amazing woman in my life. She taught me so much. That's yeah, she's definitely my biggest inspiration.
Such a nice words, and just to end, thank you so much, Fanny, for being with me. It has been a really inspired, and I was really nervous for this conversation, because for me it's the first one in English, but also because I really admire you, and for me you are such an example, and it has been super inspiring for me, and I think for all our listeners. So thank you so much, and I really trust in Vestiaire Collective. I really love your company, and you're doing such a great job and such an example for all of all other digital native brands or companies that we are behind, and you are such an example. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Inés, and I wish we can meet and have a drink of wine in Barcelona soon.
Yes, for sure. If you come, just call me. And I really want to go to Hong Kong. It's one of the places I really want to travel. So when all of these changes, I will call you if I go there, and we can meet. Just one moment. Can I just take a picture of this moment?
Yes, of course. With pleasure. With pleasure.
Perfect. So thank you so much, Fanny, for your time.
Thank you. If you need anything, let's reconnect. It was really lovely talking to you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Ciao ciao.